Good morning and welcome to the investiture ceremony of Salisbury University's 10th president, Dr. Carolyn Ringer Lepre. It's my great pleasure to welcome all of our community members, including faculty, staff, students, alumni, and other supporters. And I'd also like to welcome our distinguished guests, including Maryland Secretary of Housing and Development, Jake Day, other public officials, representatives from the University System of Maryland, delegates visiting from universities, and our neighbors and community partners throughout the region. Thank you for joining us for this historic occasion and for your support of Salisbury University. Thank you for remaining standing as we have the colors presented by Salisbury University ROTC Color Guard and our national anthem, which will be performed by senior music major Sophia Merbaum and the SU Brass Ensemble. And please remain standing throughout the anthem and until the colors have been retired.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, thank you, Sophia, for that wonderful job, and thanks, too, to our students in ROTC. Everyone, please be seated and join me in thanking them once again. Well, good morning and welcome once again to this exciting event, the formal installation of Salisbury University's 10th president, Dr. Carolyn Ringer Lepre. My name is Karen Olmsted, and I have the privilege of serving as the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and as your Master of Ceremonies here today. An investiture is defined as a formal ceremony conferring the authority and symbols of high office. And at a university, this ceremony is held during the new president's first year in office. And the investiture ceremony is among one of the oldest traditions in higher education. Today, universities view investitures as opportunities to welcome a new chapter in the life of the institution and to celebrate the pursuit of knowledge as a community. The ceremony itself is filled with many academic traditions, as you probably have seen. It includes the progression of delegates from other colleges and universities, as well as our own faculty and alumni, musical selections, and then greetings from members of the university system, and our shared governance leaders, and government leaders as well. To begin our ceremony, I'm now pleased to introduce our platform party, and will our platform guests please rise, and I'd ask the audience to hold your applause until everyone has been introduced, and then we'll greet them together. So first is Ms. Carolyn Ringer. Just stand up as I read your name. University's General Counsel. Dr. Janet Warmack, our Vice President for Finance and Administration. Dr. Dane Faust, Vice President of Student Affairs and Auxiliary Services. Mr. Jason Curtin, Vice President of Advancement and Alumni Relations, and also the Executive Director of Salisbury University's Foundation. Mr. Eli Maudlin, Chief of Staff and Vice President for Public Affairs and Strategic Initiatives. Mr. Wyatt Parks, President of the Student Government Association here at SU. Mr. Nick Plummer, President of the Graduate Student Council. Mr. Joe Benish, Chair of our Staff Senate. Mr. Timothy Robinson, President of the Adjunct Faculty Caucus. Ms. Jennifer Martin, who is President of our Faculty Senate. Dr. Lily Leonard, who is a two-time Salisbury University graduate and former President of our Alumni Association Board of Directors. Dr. Naima Clark, Chair and Professor at Elon University. I'll be introducing her later. The Honorable Jack Heath, Mayor of the City of Salisbury. The Honorable Jake Day, Maryland Secretary of Housing and Community Development. Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach, Salisbury University's President from 2000 to 2018. Dr. Charles White, Salisbury University's President from 2018 to 2022. Regent Robert Raup, representing the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. Ms. Linda Gooden, Chair of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents, and Dr. Jay Perman, Chancellor of the University System of Maryland, and of course, Dr. Carolyn R. Lepre, the 10th President of Salisbury University. You may now be seated. Got a lot of people on this stage. Among our many distinguished guests today, I'd like to acknowledge the elected officials in attendance, so any federal, state, local elected officials, as well as their representatives, if you would please rise and be recognized. I think I saw some out there. Thank you for being here today. And in addition, this is part of the traditions, we are pleased to recognize visiting delegates representing other University System of Maryland institutions, other institutions across Maryland, and those institutions where President Lepre has been affiliated during her career. So thank you to all the visiting delegates for taking the time out of your schedule to join us today. Would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you. I also want to thank Salisbury University's Brass Ensemble, conducted by Dr. Lee Nyer, and all of our excellent student, faculty, and alumni performers who will be showcasing their talents here today. So thank you to our musical talent. It's great to have live music at all of these events. Finally, I want to thank all of you and welcome you to this important event. I appreciate you taking the time. We're very pleased to have you with us. So next, it's my pleasure to introduce guests who will bring greetings to President Lepre. Supporting a new president is truly a community endeavor, and first, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the podium Maryland Secretary of Housing and Community Development, Jake Day, who will provide greetings on behalf of the state of Maryland. Secretary Day is a Salisbury native and a University System of Maryland graduate who also earned a master's degrees from Oxford and Carnegie Mellon universities. He's a former City of Salisbury County Council President, and he was elected Mayor of Salisbury in 2015, in a role in which he served until recently when he was appointed as Secretary by Maryland Governor Wes Moore this year. So please join me in welcoming Secretary Day.
Well, Dr. Olmsted, thank you so much. Good morning. President Lepre, it's an honor to be here with you today. This is the shortest commute I've had yet in my tenure as Secretary of Housing for the state of Maryland. Walking onto campus today, I'm reminded of how much incredible progress has been made, not only with new buildings and construction over the years, but the growth of the relationship between Salisbury University and the surrounding community. You know, I grew up just around the corner on Forest Lane, and I grew up in the shadow, I felt, of Holloway Hall. And now I'm a few steps closer, inching my way closer to campus. Maybe I need to pursue another degree, living right on Camden Avenue. So growing up, I knew that the community's relationship with the university wasn't always rosy. Some neighbors would get upset if students were a little too rowdy. I wouldn't know anything about that, having never been a college student myself. But you know, over the last decade or so, the university and the city have worked closely to improve that relationship. The university, and any university, is a central piece of its community. And it's a leading example for other colleges in our state and around our nation, and how academic institutions and their surrounding communities can form strong bonds through intentional work, investment, partnership. That relationship can strengthen. The Entrepreneurship Center and downtown campus, the Mayor's Prize for Entrepreneurship, the grants that city offers students to buy a home here, and even student housing rising in the center of our city. There's so much that indicates this partnership, this bond, this united front that we must present. I know that President Lepre started last year emphasizing continuing to foster the ongoing civic engagement that exists between the university and the city. She's truly the right person to bring the university to new heights. I've been honored to get to work with 3 university presidents, and I'm lucky to share the stage with them today. And you know, I've heard each of them, and I've heard President Lepre use this word as well, that the university's trajectory is represented by momentum. I have no doubt that she will continue to carry momentum forward and accelerate it. Salisbury University is consistently recognized as one of the top higher education institutions in our nation. And now, under President Lepre's leadership, it's recognized as a leader. It's led by a leader in higher education. She was recently named, if you didn't know, to the Daily Record's Higher Education Power List. She's a highly accomplished academic with a background in mass communication and journalism, with an impressive record of leadership and scholarly achievements. In the past, through communication and research, she's focused on some of the most pressing issues of our time, including media representation and gender and diversity, health communication, and mass communication education. As the interim president and provost at Radford University, President Lepre spearheaded several initiatives at enhancing the quality of academic programs and experiences. She established a standalone school of nursing, launched the Campus Academic Success Center, developed several online fast-track degree programs, and has a proven track record that included the development of an exciting hotel project at that school. Her achievements are well known, and her extensive professional experience has given her a deep understanding of not only the communication industry, but what a community needs from its university president. And as the president of Salisbury University, President Lepre's exceptional leadership abilities, distinguished academic background, and impressive record of achievements will no doubt be instrumental in advancing the university's mission and elevating our entire community. I've been traveling around the state over the last few months. One of the things that I've emphasized is how we must build livable and lovable places where people want to be. We've got to recognize government alone is not going to save our communities. People will have to want to invest. We've got to attract that investment, and we've got to attract talent. Salisbury University has been doing just that and will continue to. What would a university be without its community, and what would this community be without this university? I am surrounded right now, and so often, even in my home, by the pivotal moments of young adulthood as people become leaders in their community, leaders in their industry, as they improve the city around them, the university around them, the community around them. And I am absolutely confident that the best days are yet to come under President Lepre's leadership. Congratulations, Madam President. And I would also like to share this proclamation, this citation from our Governor, Wes Moore. It reads, Governor of the State of Maryland to Dr. Carolyn Ringer Lepre, PhD, be it known that on behalf of the citizens of this state in recognition of your inauguration as the 10th president of Salisbury University, and as our citizens join in conveying our heartfelt congratulations and expressing our great respect and gratitude for your leadership and commitment to providing a world-class higher education for generations of students, we are pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation signed this day, Governor Wes Moore, Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, and Secretary of State Susan Lee.
Thank you so much, Secretary Day. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Regent Robert Rao, Assistant Secretary of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents, who will bring greetings on behalf of the board. Regent Rao is President and CEO of Rao Incorporated, a civil engineering and construction management firm in Easton, right here on the Eastern Shore. He's a graduate of the University of Maryland College Park and has served on the Board of Regents since 2013. He also led the search committee that led to President Lepre's appointment. So please join me in welcoming Regent Rao.
Thank you. This is an incredible honor to be here to represent and bring greetings from our Board of Regents and to celebrate with all of you the installation of Dr. Carolyn Ringer Lepre as Salisbury University's 10th president. I took a little of my thunder. I had the honor to chair the committee to select this next president of Salisbury University and the privilege to recommend Dr. Lepre to the Board of Regents for this very special appointment. Dr. Lepre was the committee's and the Regents' obvious choice to lead Salisbury University. She'll not only continue in the tradition of exceptional SU leadership, she'll also take the university to an even greater heights in higher education. Dr. Carolyn Lepre is committed to values of higher education and the partnership that advance SU's mission. She's collaborative, always ready to come together with colleagues, students, the community stakeholders to better Salisbury University, the system, and the region. She inspires those around her, leading by example and bringing out the very best in people. Salisbury University is a very special jewel in the University System of Maryland's crown of extraordinary institutions. SU is one of the nation's top institutions for learning, scholarship, and growth. This great institution is nationally and globally recognized as a top producer in the Fulbright Student Research Fellows for its Division III athletics and for being a Carnegie Community Engaged campus. It also offers its students an incredible and memorable experience in one of the state's most desirable locations. As a lifelong resident of Maryland's Eastern Shore, I can't imagine a better place to get a world-class education and build a career. With President Lepre, we the system of Maryland and the Board of Regents know that the university is in great hands. Congratulations.
Thank you, Regent Rao. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Honorable Jack Heath, who will bring greetings on behalf of the City of Salisbury. Previously, Mayor Heath was appointed to the Salisbury City Council in 2014 and was elected its president in 2015. He's also a two-time SU parent and a longtime Maroon and Gold Club board member and supporter. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Heath.
Good morning. I consider it a privilege to bring you greetings on behalf of the City of Salisbury this morning. This university has been a part of the fabric of the community for over 100 years. And today is truly a joyous occasion as we celebrate the inauguration of its 10th president. As mayor, I've had the good fortune of knowing many business and civic leaders. But there are some attributes that stand out about Dr. Lepre. Early on, it was obvious that she had a strong commitment to the well-being of everyone in the university. The students, the staff, the faculty, and all that have connections to SU. And she also understands how SU is connected to the community. When I call, she answers and always asks, "What can I do to help? What can I do to help?" That's the way we respond in this community. How can I help? And Dr. Lepre fit right into that attribute. My family and I are in the President's Suite for most home games. And while we don't talk during the games, I can tell you she's already bleeding maroon and gold. In fact, I know she's a true seagull because she doesn't talk during the games. She's excited about talking to everyone, but not when the Seagulls are playing. Personally, I've been connected to Salisbury University long before I was elected office. And this university has been very fortunate. We are joined today by Dr. Janet Dudley-Espach, Dr. J, and Dr. Charles White, Chuck. Their continued commitment to support the success of SU is a testament to how dedicated they are to making sure that SU succeeds. I agree. It's already clear that Dr. Lepre will continue the long tradition of great leaders here at SU. Dr. Lepre, I stand with you. The city of Salisbury stands with you. We are cheering for your success because your success is our success. Thank you and congratulations to Salisbury University.
Thank you, Mayor Heath. And he's right about the box. Neither President Lepre nor Todd are too engaged in conversation in those moments, and we appreciate that. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce members of Salisbury University, the members of Salisbury University community, who will provide greetings on behalf of our alumni, our adjunct faculty, staff, and students. So first, let me welcome Dr. Lily Leonard, who's a two-time SU graduate and former president, as I mentioned, of the Salisbury University Alumni Association. And Dr. Leonard will then be followed by our shared governance leaders. Lily?
Good morning. Can we just have a round of applause for the weather? It is perfect. The universe wouldn't have had it any other way. As a proud two-time graduate of Salisbury University and immediate past president of the Alumni Association Board of Directors, it is truly an honor to be part of this historic day. Today, we inaugurate the 10th president of this beloved institution, Dr. Carolyn Ringer Lepre. I had the great pleasure of serving on the presidential search committee that brought Dr. Lepre to Salisbury. Throughout the sometimes arduous and always comprehensive search process, Dr. Lepre emerged as a capable, empathetic, enthusiastic candidate. These admirable characteristics have only been confirmed in the 10 months she has been at the helm of SU. Selecting the best leader for the job was personal for me. I am a first-generation American and the first in my immediate family to graduate from college. And after struggling to adjust to college life and nearly failing out my sophomore year, was given a second chance that changed the trajectory of my life. I owe everything to this place. It's why I wear a ring on my right hand, engraved with the coordinates to 1101 Camden Avenue. A constant, gentle reminder to never forget where I came from, to remind me that my day-to-day decisions may impact the trajectory of someone else's life, and to remind me that I can always come home. This is why ensuring SU's long-term success by finding an outstanding individual to lead it was of critical importance. Being president of a higher institution, an institution of higher education, isn't a job for the faint of heart, as I think a couple of our members of the platform party can attest. It requires a significant commitment to one's education, job experience, personal growth, and willingness to constantly evolve while maintaining a sense of self. Academia, at the end of the day, is also a business. Understanding how to manage a several $100 million budget, with most line items tied to the lives of real human beings, requires an extraordinary depth of understanding and empathy. Some decisions are easy, but many are difficult, and very few, if any, will have full consensus. Change can be a great thing, while at the same time being a hard thing. The two are not mutually exclusive. Over the last 10 months, I've been incredibly impressed with Dr. Lepre's ability to seamlessly integrate into the Salisbury University community with grace and tact, taking time to listen to those who have been here for many years, while simultaneously making key decisions necessary to move the university forward. This awareness demonstrates an exceptional level of leadership. One of my favorite things about her, though, is that she shows up. The concept of showing up is one of my guiding life principles. The simple act of being present demonstrates a person's commitment to their community and to themselves. I have seen Dr. Lepre show up at countless events, including field hockey, most often without fanfare, and have marveled at her ability to genuinely and meaningfully connect with those around her. I can say with great confidence that Salisbury University is in wonderful hands under Dr. Lepre's tutelage, and as one of 60,000 proud SU alumni, I can't wait to see where she leads us. Dr. Lepre, congratulations. It is now my pleasure to introduce Jennifer Martin, President of the Salisbury University Faculty Senate.
Dr. Lepre, on behalf of the faculty, it is my pleasure to officially welcome you to Salisbury University. Since your first day here, your energy and your enthusiasm for higher education, for Salisbury University, and for our students has been evident. You bring warmth with you into every interaction, and you have proven yourself willing to listen carefully and thoughtfully. We appreciate the time you have spent listening to our concerns and learning about our campus, culture, values, and strengths. We hope that mutual listening and mutual engaging in good faith will be a hallmark of your tenure here. And speaking of learning about our campus and culture, we have seen you out and about on campus. You have attended faculty senate meetings, athletic events, cultural events, and I'm sure much more. We are happy to have you involved and connected here at SU. But you haven't just been busy here on campus. You have also been busy advocating for us in the community, with the state, and beyond. You have done a recruitment tour of local high schools, talked to our legislators and our governor, and traveled abroad to create and strengthen our international connections. This work ties into the Salisbury 7, your bold, aspirational, and inspirational vision for Salisbury University. This vision challenges us both to improve what we already do well and to grow in areas where growth is needed. Your vision has generated interest and excitement on campus. We look forward to collaborating with you to turn the Salisbury 7 from a vision into reality and, more generally, to working with you to advance Salisbury's excellence. We hope that you will have a long tenure leading a thriving Salisbury University. Welcome. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Tim Robinson, President of the SU Adjunct Faculty Caucus.
Good morning. I know we're a day late, but I'd be remiss if I did not say may the 4th be with you. 1989 was a very important year because not only was it the beginning of the end of the Cold War, but it was also the year I first set foot on this campus as an undergrad. And I'd never even been to Salisbury before. I knew Salisbury as a pass-through on the way to Ocean City. And my dad dropped me off and said, "Good luck, son." But I came to love this place over that 4-year period. And when I look at these buildings and knowing that the memories that come back and the memories of hanging out in the dorms and walking to this campus, and actually did go into the library a couple times. This campus really grew on me and became a special place. It was so special that 2 of my siblings followed me here from out of town. I also became an SU parent. My wife works here, and this has just become a very important part of my life. And as Mayor Heath said, about the community, because this is a community, and we are an SU family. And I want to thank President Lepre for inviting me to be up here. I never thought 30 years ago that I would be here in this capacity, and it really means a lot to be here. On behalf of the large adjunct community here at Salisbury University, I'm excited to commemorate this day, the passing of the torch from one leader to the next and the start of a new era, where together we will continue to grow this campus and take the university to new heights. I often think of the history of this campus and the growth that I've witnessed since I arrived in that magical year of 1989 and seemingly never left. I think of the presidents I knew that preceded you. I knew Thomas Bellavance, Janet Dudley Eschbach, Chuck White. And now that you are at the helm, I think of the opportunities that you will have to chart the course of this incredible university that we all hold so dear. And I know those former presidents I mentioned, they all did a great job of leading this university and putting their mark on this campus. And I'm looking forward to the mark that you will put on it. I also see reminders all over the place. As you all know, the 1925 seems to be emblazoned everywhere. And that we're quickly approaching the centennial anniversary of this outstanding university. After seeing what was accomplished over the last century, I look forward to seeing how you position us for the next one. President Lepre, as you are officially installed as the 10th president of Salisbury University, I not only want to say congratulations on this moment, but that we, the adjunct community, are excited to work with you to provide a quality education for generations to come. Thank you. And it is now my pleasure to introduce Joe Benish, Chair of the SU Staff Senate.
Good morning, everyone. They were really brave to allow me to have some microphone time, so thank you. So my name is Joe Benish, and I'd like to start off by saying that it is a privilege to be here today representing our staff senate this morning and providing a warm welcome to such an amazing-looking audience. I think the one thing that we can agree on, all of us, that is, that it's a great day to be a Seagull, right? Who's with me? This is a pivotal moment in Salisbury University's history, especially as we edge closer to our centennial. SU has such a rich history in tradition, founded in 100 years of excellence, and as we look to our next 100 years, as we turn the page on the first, I see so many more opportunities that lie ahead. I, and so many others here today, are so grateful to have such a strong advocate at the helm of Salisbury University's future. Dr. Carolyn Lepre has already proven herself to be an absolute force, someone who is not afraid to be decisive in action, someone who will fight for the needs of our campus community, and someone who remains thoughtful and compassionate to those around her. She is the right person for this job. Change is not always an easy pill to swallow. It's not always fun or comfortable, but in order for our university to grow and to reach its greatest potential, we must be willing to adapt and embrace both the opportunities and the challenges brought about by change. Walt Disney said, "We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things, because we're curious and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths." And as I reflect on the changes I've witnessed at SU over the past 5 years, I anticipate that we're going to see great things built from the foundation that we've already started, and I'm so optimistic to see all that we can achieve together. For the next section of my remarks, I'd like to speak directly to President Lepre. Dr. Lepre, on behalf of the staff, I thank you that for the last 10 months, you've willingly lent us your listening ear. We know we've had a lot to say, especially me. But working alongside you and your team during the university's transition has been so exciting. Through the first objective of your Salisbury 7, we will invest in the people who deliver on the promises we make to our students. It is evident that our most important asset is our people. And the Staff Senate is eager to be an integral part in ensuring that this objective is brought to the forefront in many, if not all, decisions we make moving forward. Finally, I'd like to thank you and your team for your thoughtful conversations about and considerations of the many prominent issues we bring forward on behalf of the Salisbury University. The Staff Senate is fortunate to have a seat at the table where we're able to bring forth our ideas and suggestions, as well as brainstorm collaborative solutions for the issues we face. No matter what we've brought forth to you during your brief time with us thus far, we have appreciated your timely support and action in addressing it all. We look forward to continuing to work alongside you as we find further ways to make Salisbury University an even better destination for our flock. This is only the beginning of a bright and beautiful future together. Thank you, and go Goals. It is now my pleasure to introduce Nicholas Plummer, President of the Graduate Student Council.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for joining us on this beautiful morning here on the square. It's a beautiful morning. And on behalf of the Graduate Student Council, I'd like to personally thank everyone, who's here today to help us celebrate a wonderful new president here, Dr. Carolyn Ringer, the Seagull Nation. Dr. Lepre, the Graduate Student Council welcomes you to Salisbury University with open arms as we move into the next chapter together. The past years have been reaffirmed the attributes that truly define our institution. Each year, as a university family, we overcome challenges, uncover solutions, and make an impact within both our tightly knit Eastern Shore community as well as across the state of Maryland. Salisbury University continues to trailblaze its own course, serving as a pioneer and as a role model for other institutions both near and far. We thank Dr. Charles White and Dr. Janet Dudley Eschbach for their steadfast leadership in guiding us through many challenges and as we soared to new heights over recent decades. The role of a university president being charged with ushering in the campuses tomorrow is a responsibility that cannot be taken lightly. This role requires the ability to strengthen partnerships, guide and implement change on a massive scale, and elevate our institution to heights that we would not have previously thought possible. As someone who has had the pleasure of getting to know Dr. Lepre on a professional and as an individual, witnessing her leadership over the past year firsthand, I have the utmost confidence in her ability to guide us into the next century of Salisbury University's history. The tradition and presence of shared governance on our campus is profound and truly inspiring. Organizations representatives value the voices of all of our constituents, and we remain committed to being clear and consistent in our efforts to better SU for all of those who step foot on campus. As we continue under your leadership, Dr. Lepre, our council is very encouraged to partner with you in achieving our shared governance goals and objectives. You have demonstrated you value our mission and see the important role GSC serves on this campus now and into the future. We recognize and appreciate all the diligent work you've accomplished thus far and will continue to offer to the SU community as we continue to soar to even greater heights together. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Wyatt Parks, President of the Student Government Association.
Good morning. My name is Wyatt Parks. Today, I'm in the privileged position as the newly elected president of the Student Government Association to represent this organization and the undergraduate student body at large. The Student Government Association works to provide advocacy, service, and welfare to the student body and campus community. I've been a student at Salisbury University since the start of the pandemic, and I've witnessed President White navigate us through some of my generation's most troubling times. We are nearing the end of that time, and I am happy to see President Lepre kindle us with guiding lights as she approached our campus with grace. She brings with her advancements that we are yet to see. They will provide structure and roots for beneficence for all of us and those to come, long after she passes the torch. The glimpse that we have seen into her leadership and passion for Salisbury, I believe, corroborates her placement by the Daily Record amongst Maryland's top 100 women. Her focus towards implementing a campus-wide diversity, equity, and inclusion plan has solidified her as a president of the students. In my final year at Salisbury University, I look forward to advancing the relationship that my predecessor established, propelling the future of our advocacy and service to the student body at large. I can't wait to bear witness to the future that we will nurture together. On behalf of the Student Government Association and undergraduate student body, we welcome Dr. Lepre as the new president of Salisbury University.
Well, thank you all for your words and for your service to the university. It's now my honor to introduce our next speaker. Dr. Naima Clark is the J. Earl Danley Distinguished Professor at Elon University. She's a nationally acclaimed expert in diversity issues related to media and entertainment, including race and gender, economic status, disabilities, LGBTQIA, and ethnicity. She specializes in intercultural development at institutions of higher education, and she earned her PhD in mass communication from the University of Florida, along with President Lepre and their co-authors on the textbook, Diversity in U.S. Mass Media. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Clark.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. So I remember when my dear friend from graduate school, Lynn, told me she was having twins. We were on the phone. I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Lynn was in Chico, California, and I could hear the tinkling of her wind chimes on her back porch. It was such a happy moment. I was so excited for these babies because I knew what was ahead of them. You see, like Sarah and Ainsley, who are dying in the front row that I'm talking about them. You see, like Sarah and Ainsley, I too am a twin. I told Lynn what my mom always said when people asked her what it was like to be the mom of twins. You'll always have one to wash dishes and one to dry. That's what it's like to be a twin. You are an instant team. You are a we. There's something magical about being a part of a team where you can see yourself in the other and at the same time recognize the differences that make the we uniquely your own. When you are a we, you can harness an invisible force that will let you achieve more than you could have ever done alone. It is a connection that creates stories that become lifelong memories. Over the 25 years, which is weird because we're only 31, over the 25 years I've known your new president, we've worked as a team a few times. I'm sure you'll find what I have found in being her teammate. There is wisdom. We, along with our dear friend Catherine Luther, have written a textbook that has been used to teach diversity in U.S. media for more than a decade. We're working on the third edition, and although she's been a little busy of late, Lynn's newest contribution to the book will be about the power of K-pop, a deep love of hers, to create connections at a time when the Asian American population is facing increased discrimination in the U.S. It is a timely topic that will be relevant to our student readers. I also am learning a great deal about Jimin and Suga and V. I don't know. There is optimism. When Lynn and I worked at the University of Tennessee, we created the Big Orange and the Big Apple. We'd take students from Knoxville to New York City for a week-long media tour. We'd go to a Broadway show, have dinner at Tavern on the Green. The highlight of the trip was visiting Lynn's friends at Martha Stewart magazine. When we were there, we'd go to Martha's office, get some swag, have amazing pastries. In her 20s, Lynn was a New York City girl working in the flourishing magazine business. She always has the best contacts in the media industry across the city. For many of our students, this was the first time they'd visit a media organization. and could catch a glimpse of a career that they dreamed of having. It gave them confidence to know that they could do whatever they wanted. There's also bravery in working with Lynn Lepre. When Lynn interviewed at the University of Tennessee, she requested a visit to the Body Farm. It's a field on campus where forensic anthropologists study human body decomposition. Lynn had read about it in a Patricia Cromwell novel and was fascinated by the science. There are actually bodies out there. We got in my car, my little Saab, and we drove excitedly to the outskirts of the campus to the field, and we couldn't believe we were going to have this once-in-a-lifetime experience. We got out of the car and walked into the waiting area. Okay, I may be exaggerating. I actually didn't see the Body Farm. I got as far as the room with the pictures of bones on the wall, and I freaked out. But Lynn did go to the field and explored it with the forensic anthropologist. And although I was not out there, my admiration for her fearlessness, curiosity, and continual quest for learning was. These same qualities led her to the dean position at Marist College, the provost and surprise presidency at Radford, and now Salisbury, where she will lead with an open mind and a whole heart as she partners with a team of faculty and staff to educate tomorrow's leaders. I know that Lynn is committed to this community. You see, unlike when I ditched her at the Body Farm, I came running when she asked me to help assess the diversity and inclusion climate here at Salisbury in her first few weeks on campus. When she called to ask me to help out, I said, "Oh, I'm happy to come next semester." She said, "Oh, no, next week. You need to come next week." Her priority is the people here, and that this is a culture that celebrates inclusion and belonging. Over the days I was here, I met dozens of friendly, talented, and smart folks who will be her partners and collaborators in this work. I know that this team can harness the optimism and bravery needed to face some of the stressors that will challenge Salisbury's core values of excellence, student-centeredness, learning, community, civic engagement, and diversity and inclusion. All you have to do is turn on the news or read the Chronicle of Higher Ed to know that the values that Salisbury holds dear are being challenged in states across the country. Your president has the wisdom, bravery, and optimism to uphold the values of this campus. She cannot do it alone, though. So you know, by virtue of our being in this time and this place, we are now a we. Let us be connected with similar purpose. Let us commit to being President Lepre's team that believes in the power of higher education to inspire critical thinking, realize personal and professional goals, and cultivate active citizens who embrace that the contributions of all people and acknowledge that what happened in the past plays a role in how we create a more equitable future. In my experience, this partnership with Lynn will mean purposeful work, creativity, laughter, and more than a few lessons in K-pop.
I think The Body Farm was a very popular book. I saw so many people in the audience say, "I've read about that."